Well, it's November, it's almost Thanksgiving. The car has had its last drive, I guess, last weekend. Snow hit and cold weather. It's gonna have salt on the roads. So here in Indiana, fox season's over for sure. And got the car backed in the garage. It's gonna get put up on some stands here pretty soon. And we got to start talking about winter projects and what's gonna keep all of us from going too stir crazy over the winter. I know there's plenty of you guys down in the southern states that you're just kind of getting started, but for us up here, man, it's going to be a long few months to get through the winter and just waiting to get these cars out again. Let's talk about winter projects for 2024. Car's up on jack stands for now. It'll eventually get put up on wheel cribs once I want to get it a little higher up in the air. But one of the first things I'm going to do is going to require the wheels to come off, so I just got it on jack stands for now. Okay, let's talk through this list of things I've kind of got planned for this winter. First thing, lock cylinders. So one of the few things on the outside of the car that still kind of bug me, and I'll show you here in a second. You know, the lock cylinders, all the black is kind of worn off over the years, and then especially on the back hatch, some of that overspray from when this car was painted before my time. That stuff just really bugs me, so I'm going to take this whole piece out, clean it, repaint it, re-grease it, repaint the outside there, and put it back together. And it's the same issue on the doors. There's just a little bit of the black showing from the factory, and I'm going to repaint those, clean them up. I'm not going to buy replacements because I'm sure they'll be junk compared to the OEMs that I have. Everything works fine, they just look bad. So that's going to be one of the projects this winter. Okay, next up, the emergency brake cable. It's getting loose, I think, on the inside of the car. When I set the emergency brake and pull the handle up, I pull it up as far as I can, and it still wants to roll a little bit if I'm on a pretty steep incline, like my driveway. So I'm going to get under the car and get that emergency brake cable tightened up. It is adjustable. When I did the 5-lug conversion, I've got a completely different emergency brake cable set up, so I can get under there. And I may have to remove the drive shaft. I'm not sure if I can get the two nuts loosened up and adjust and tighten everything down with the drive shaft in place. But if I got to remove that, that's no big deal. It kind of connects to the next thing on my list. All right, item number 3 on the winter projects is I do think I have a little bit of an exhaust leak under the car where the H-pipe connects to one of the sides of the axle back. And I can kind of hear what sounds like a little bit of an exhaust leak when I'm sitting in the car and I have the door open coming from under the car. So I'm gonna get under there, loosen everything up, move everything around, see if it is in fact an exhaust leak that I'm hearing coming from that joint kind of under, you know, the middle of the car. And then also, I guess going right into number 4, once I take these wheels off, I'm gonna just do a general inspection, look for rubs, look at brake hoses, look at the inside of the tires, the rims, just to give everything a once over. I didn't drive it a lot this year, maybe, I don't know, 400 or 500 miles, went to a few shows. Definitely the most driving was when I was down at Ford Takeover in Jackson. But here locally, I only went to 3 or 4 shows and a few cruises this year. Always seemed like there was something that prevented me from hitting some of the other shows that were scheduled. So don't expect to find too much, but it's something I do every winter, is just look around and make sure everything's good. Item number 5 on the list is I am going to jack it up further off the ground, get it under wheel cribs, under the tires on all 4 corners, and I'm going to do a lot of bit of checking and greasing joints and zerks on the lower control arms, the other upper control arms. Just look more under the car, look at the fuel lines and the fuel tank and the engine. Just look around for any kinds of signs of leaks or rubs. And then I'm going to do a lot of cleaning this year. I kind of skipped that last winter, so I'm going to do a fair share of just cleaning the undercarriage, getting everything cleaned up with some degreaser, and wipe it down and maybe spray it down after that, just to get it all cleaned up. All right, coming around to the front of the car here, item number 6. I haven't made up my mind completely yet of if I'm going to do this, but I think I want the Scott Rod panels that go and fill in around the front top of the bumper into the radiator support area. It's a 3-piece set. I'll probably get it in either unfinished and paint it the gray that the rest of the engine bay is, or I'll get it in the flat black that kind of matches with the radiator hold down, and just will kind of blend in, I think. Haven't decided yet. But for those of you that have used the panel or had a car with it, was it what you expected it to be? Did it fit well? Did you like it? Do you wish you hadn't done it? Just give me some comments or feedback if you have experience. I do like the idea of having this all filled in and more smooth with the 3-piece panels. I wouldn't rivet it in like you're supposed to do. I would buy the threaded inserts that you can put in the right places and be able to thread it in and out with some screws to make it easier to remove if you ever needed to. I do have the hood pins, so I'll have to accommodate for that with them. And I do think that I would buy the version that has the cutout for the hood latch. I know I'm kind of weird that way, but even with the hood pins, I like the idea of the hood latch helping with the hood, keeping it down. It is functional on my car. I still use it, and I think I would keep it that way even with the Scott Rod panels. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and ideas and any experience you have with it. Appreciate it. Item number 7, still in the front of the car. If you caught one of my recent videos, you'll see where I took the Cobra insert out because the driver's side corner was kind of coming away where the double-sided tape kept it down. And while I had it out, I put some red lighting back inside there, put it all back together. And sure enough, it still is driving me crazy. It doesn't fit very well on this side, and it's kind of coming away again. So I will be taking this all off again and see if I can kind of manipulate that angle a little bit with some heat to try to make it fit better. Or I may just buy a whole other insert and see if a new insert fits better than this one. And if not, I guess I could always return it, figure out if it's the bumper that's causing the problem. But either way, I'm going to try to do it again and do a better job of getting it adhesive down to get rid of some of that space on the driver's side. And item number 7, still in the front, I am going to buy a different firewall adjuster for the clutch cable. You can't really see it very well, but because I got my air conditioning line in the way. But down here, the adjuster on here doesn't have a really good lock way to keep it from not moving once you get it adjusted. And I found a couple of times this summer I had to adjust it because it wasn't wanting to shift right, and I think that adjuster keeps coming loose. So I'm going to get a different adjuster. This one was used when I got it a long time ago, and it was a used Maximum Motorsport cable, because for those of you that have been looking, you know, Maximum Motorsport clutch cables have been out and unavailable for a long time, and I don't know if they'll ever get them back. So I bought the used cable that came with that adjuster, and I just put it all in, but it's time for a new adjuster, I think. This one is not a Maximum Motorsport firewall adjuster, I can tell that. I don't know what brand it is, but we're gonna get a new one of those and put it in. All right, and now we're back at the rear of the car. Got the hatch open, got some light on in there. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you've seen where I made this cover with the painted car. So I'm not going to mess with that exactly, but in the floor, you know, getting down under to the spare tire well where my powered sub is at, and some other wiring, it's really kind of a pain to lift the carpet up, try to hold it up or fold it over the seat out of the way and mess with that stuff. So I've got a different idea. All right, so project number 8, and again, just going down the list doesn't mean that's the order that I'm gonna do these projects over the winter, but I'm basically going to get the carpet out, get everything out of the back, and I wanna make a floor out of some particle board that's on a hinge, kind of have the hinge under the carpet, and then I'm gonna use a couple of these cabinet struts, similar to like what holds your hatch up, and I'm going to use those on that floor and then bolt it down inside the wheel well to where the whole floor under the carpet, I can lift it up and it'll stay up in the air while I'm working underneath, and then I can just push it back down with those cylinders and have a little latch that holds it down. So I've never seen anybody do that before. I'm sure people have, I just haven't come across an example of it, but it'll be something you won't notice, you know, from outside of here, but it should make things a lot easier to just hold that, you know, that floor up in the air at an angle with those with these cylinders here when I want to work under there and not have to hold on to it. So that I'm pretty excited about trying it. I'm gonna have to buy some pretty big pieces of particle board, and hopefully I get it right the first time and don't have to throw a bunch away. All right, so those are the projects I've got planned for this winter, and I'll space them out. I've got 4 months to do these things, and none of these projects are necessarily that big as some of the projects I've done in the past. You know, previous winter projects have been pulling the engine and replacing all the seals, doing the 5-lug swap, doing the disc brake rear swap. You know, those things were a lot more involved. But I'm getting older. The car doesn't have a whole lot left for me to do anyway, which kind of sucks a little bit because I like working on this thing really a lot more than just taking it to a few shows or cruises or having to wash it all the time. You know, working on it has been the big reason that I've had it and had so much fun with it. But I do have a couple of I guess, honorable mentions, things that I'm considering but not really committed to yet. One, I've got to be careful not to put a ton more money in it, because I'll never get any more out of it than if I sold it as it is versus anything else I do. But I really have wanted some of the Dakota Digital Dash, you know, installed in this thing. I really like the idea of that. I'm just going to pay attention to how good the sales might happen over Black Friday. See if anybody, you know, has a really good deal that I just can't pass up. Don't know yet if I'll do that. You know, New Rad Solutions, I think they have the harnesses that make that install even easier. So I would do the whole kit like that, and you could eliminate the speedometer cable from going to the transmission and have more accurate speedometer with the GPS version. So there's just a lot of things I like about the idea of that. My gauges, I can trust them a lot more. All of those really aren't that accurate and never were. So all that is really interesting to me, and it'd just be fun to put it in there. And we'll see. I don't know yet if I'll do that. And then the other thing I'm considering, just not committed to yet, is with the fiberglass, Mach 1 style hood, I don't have an under hood light that comes on when you open the hood. So I have been thinking about putting in my own kind of LED light somewhere that I can have come on when I need to, if I ever need to work under the hood. I don't want it to be something too flashy or things that are too big and stick out when you're just looking under the hood at a car show or something, but just something under there that I can turn on if I needed to. Anyway, comment below, let me know, what are you guys doing for your projects? Any questions you got or feedback for me, lessons learned, something you think I shouldn't do. Happy to talk through that as well. But again, appreciate everyone watching. We're getting closer to 800 subscribers, and I'll give away that Foxbody kit, kind of your roadside kit that I talked about a few videos ago. So I'll keep an eye on that, and hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll talk to you soon.